Hey guys, what's up? It's Erin here from the Petite Planner, and today's video is another Procreate and Cricut tutorial, although this one will only be covering how to actually draw and make your stickers in Procreate, along with a lot of really cool little tricks that are in Procreate if you haven't used the platform a lot. Before we get too far into this, I want to let you know that today's video is sponsored by Skillshare. I've talked about them before on my channel, and you guys already kind of know how I feel about them. They are an awesome online learning platform with over 25,000 online e-courses that you can take at your own pace. And when you hold a premium membership, you have access to all 25,000 of these courses. And these classes are in a ton of categories, from business and entrepreneurship to creative arts, illustration, and design. And they have just all kinds of classes. And some of my favorites so far have definitely been the doodling and Procreate courses, and also the Photoshop courses. I definitely have learned a lot there. So no matter if you're looking to do it for your business or just for personal development, they have a class for everybody. So I really hope that you take advantage of their offer. The first 500 people who click the link down in the description will get 2 months for free from Skillshare, and in that time I promise you that you can take and complete a lot of courses and learn a lot of new content. With that being said, today we will be creating some stickers that you can use in your planner or in your bullet journal, or just so that you can have or maybe give to your kids. It'll just be fun. And since it's almost June, I thought it would be really fun to do some summery stickers, so I came up with these lemonade summer vibe stickers that we will be drawing today on the Procreate app. And then from there you can take and you can watch my other tutorial video on how to take images from Procreate and put them in Cricut Design Space and cut them out to be stickers. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and let's jump in. All right guys, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna turn our iPad on, and then we're gonna get it in whatever orientation you want. If you prefer to draw in portrait orientation, that's fine, but if you'd prefer landscape, that's good too. So I am going to open Procreate, and we're on my daughter's nice drawing here. And then we'll go back, and from here, when we're making stickers, you need to choose something that you can print out. So I always like to just use a standard US letter size, so 8.5 by 11. And I think you have to make it. So I've already made mine right here, but I'm going to show you how. So we are going to create custom size here at the very bottom of this list. And then here we have pixels. So we need to change pixels to inches, which you can do right here. So just tap on inches, and then your width would be 8.5 and your height would be 11. And you can leave everything else the same. And then if you'd like to change the title of it so that it says US letter, then you would know that that is your standard size of paper. So I already have mine created right here, so you can click create, and then it will open that new file. So when this brings me in, it is showing the paper as I added it in, so 8.5 by 11, so it's still in this portrait orientation rather than landscape, and it doesn't really matter at this point. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to zoom in. I always like to zoom in. So we're going to make a summer sticker that you can cut out on your Cricut. I'm going to link the video that this one corresponds to in the description below, where I made Cricut stickers with the Procreate. This is going to be a more in-depth look at actually the Procreate portion of it. So here in our layers tab, these two squares, we just want to make sure that we're right here on layer 1, and that'll work. So then we are going to choose our first color. So I'm going to just go with a black. Okay, I'm going to go with a black, and then I am going with the airbrush and then the hard airbrush, because we're going to start with a little doodle. So I'm going to change my size. So for reference, I think I'm going to go with a 3 or 4. We'll kind of see how that goes. And we're going to start by drawing a cup, like a lemonade cup. So we're going to draw a straight line, and if you just hold the line, then it creates this perfectly straight line that you can move. If you hold your finger on it, then it will move at an angle. I believe it's 15 degrees. So we're going to lift my finger and do this. And then we're going to take that exact same line. So I'm going to go to the layers tab. I'm going to swipe this over till we see duplicate. I'm going to hit duplicate. So now we have two of the exact same lines. They're stacked right on top of each other. With this top layer selected, go to your move tool, which is this little arrow icon, And then when all these pop up down at the bottom, what you want to do is you want to hit flip horizontal. So that changes the direction of it. So this would be both sides of our cup. So if we go and we can move it over like that, and then we can merge these two layers. So there are two ways to do this. You can click on it and hit merge down, or you can take your fingers on each layer and pull them together and it will merge those two layers. So now we can draw on this same layer again. So I'm going to start by connecting, oops, I might have to zoom in here. I'm going to start by creating this arch shape to connect the bottom of our cup. And then I'm going to do the same at the top. So if you took any of my doodle classes, I guess, on YouTube that I did with the 30 days of doodles, we did a lot of this cup and cylinder shape. So we create the top of our glass there, and then we have a cute cup. And now I like to work in layers, so I'm just going to start a new layer. It makes it a lot easier so that if you mess anything up, you can always go back and change things rather than having things on different layers. So now we're going to go in with this yellow, and we're going to bump our size up a little bit here, and we're going to create some lemonade in this glass. So I'm just going to take and kind of draw inside, leaving a little bit of a gap. You can do this however you want. This is just a style preference. But I'm just going around, and then I'm going to make that same arch shape right here. And I'm going to do it up here, but then we're probably going to change this part. Okay, so now we can fill this in really easy without just coloring it. So you can just click on this circle of color up here and drag it down and in, and it will fill that in. And then I want to grab a slightly lighter yellow, and I'm just going to kind of fill this in up here. All right, so now we have our lemonade. So we have those in two different layers, and we'll just leave it like that for now. And then we're going to create another layer, and we are going to go back to black. And I'm going to make my pen size even smaller. So now I'm at a 2. And what I want to do is I want to take and draw a line up. So this is going to be our straw. So here and here. And we'll make it touch the edge of the glass. So see how it's touching right there. Add that same, cylinder shape. So you can either, if you make a mistake and you just want to undo, you can hit this little undo button, or you can tap with 2 fingers at the same time and it will get rid of it. Okay, and then here what I want to do is I want to just draw a straight line where it connects. So now the next thing we want to do is go all the way to white. And we're going to fill that straw in with white. And now we can see that our straw is currently on top of our glass. That's okay. Now we're going to go get a red. And we are going to add some red lines here. So this is going to take a little bit longer. So I'm just going to speed up through this portion. Okay, so now that we have our straw done, let's drag our straw so that it is behind this cup layer, but in front. So we actually need to rearrange these. So I'm going to put my cup between the lemonade and the straw, and then I'm going to bring the straw between the cup and the lemonade. And now we have our straw sitting behind our entire thing. So we're going to need to erase part of our glass. This is why I like to work in layers. So our straw, if this was real, our straw would go behind this arch, but not behind this back arch because it's inside the cup. So we need to erase this back piece of the cup. Oops, my eraser is really big. So go to your eraser tool and then make it pretty small because we're doing some pretty precise erasing here. And then you can erase without worrying about the straw. See, I can go all over the straw
and it's not going to do anything. It only erases the cup. So if I go here, see how it erases the cup, but it's not erasing the lemonade or the straw. And now again, I can just tap with 2 fingers and it will undo that, so no worries. So there is our glass. Let's just take some time to add a little bit more character to our glass. So I'm going to pick up this yellow again, and to do that, I'm just going to hold my finger on it and it grabs that color. And now I'm going to make it a little darker, but I don't want to be too brown. And then I'm going to really make my brush size small, and we're just going to add some little dots in here. You make someone bigger if you want. And you could definitely take this farther. We're going to keep it pretty simple so that we can get on to some of the lettering. So now I am going to make sure that I am on a new layer. So I'm creating another layer here, and then we're going to choose the color that we want. So for my lettering, I think I might go with a blue, maybe a bright blue. And then I am going to use a imported brush that I bought called the Colorado brush, and it is like a brush lettering brush. But you can also use, in the calligraphy, you can use the script brush if you haven't bought it. I will link to the Colorado brush pack in the description. I really enjoy all these. Pretty much all of these come from the Colorado pack, and they're awesome brushes. So we're going to start here, and I'm putting my size, I think maybe about 6 or 7 to start. And we're going to write summer vibes. So just like with a brush pen, it works the same with the Apple Pencil. The more pressure you apply, the thicker your stroke will be, and the less pressure you apply, the thinner your stroke will be. So I'm going to write summer vibes, and I'm going to kind of overlap it on this glass. So I'm going to go here. And then all right, I'm going to start over here, and I'm going to do it straight across. Oops. It does take a lot of practice. Brush lettering on the iPad is definitely different than brush lettering on like paper. So it does take some practice. And then I picked up a little bit of a darker blue and kind of a teal for the vibes. Because on this, I don't think I'm going to do a brush script. It's brush script, but or not script. It's brush lettering, but not script. And you don't have to do this exactly. You could change this up to be whatever you want and say whatever you want. So we have that. I do feel like my summer here is kind of like it doesn't contrast well against the yellow. So I think we're going to change the color of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to select, and then I am going to choose, let's see, maybe even a darker teal. And then I'm just going to use my brush, and I can bump up the size here, and I'm just going to color directly over it. And I might even make an ombre. So When it's on select, you can't color on anything but the layer that you're on. So here I'm just picking up new colors. I'm just making it a little lighter. And then we'll go really light for this end. And then the last thing we do while it's selected is go in here to the Gaussian blur, which is under this right here, Gaussian blur. And then as you drag your marker across, it blurs it more and more. So see how it gets so light that it's completely gone. But if we come back here to about, let's see, oops, about 10%, 10.7, then it blurs all those colors together nicely so there are no harsh lines. So now we can unselect by clicking this. And then the last thing I want to do before we add our white background is to add a second layer here. So what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this layer and go back. Let's see, hold on. Actually, let's leave that, and then we're going to merge those two because then it makes that a little darker. So now we'll duplicate it again. Go to your bottom layer. So you have two layers that are exactly the same. Go to the bottom one, the one below. And again, we're going to select. Then we're going to choose a very dark gray. Then we'll go back to that same layer that we have selected. So this bottom layer of text, and we're going to hit fill layer. Now that entire layer is gray, watch. When I move it, it's underneath the layer, so you can't see it right now, but now you can. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pull that down and to the left just a little bit, and you can tap in different directions to get it to move. And then we're going to go back to our adjustments, go to motion blur on this gray layer. We're going to drag it like that at about 9%. So now we have our little sticker made. I know that took a while, but we can duplicate this entire thing. But first, we're gonna move this summer vibes just a little. So while it's on magnetic, I'm gonna undo magnetic so that I can rotate it with this green dot, hopefully. And I might even make it, oops, wait. Oh, okay. When changing the size from here, you want it on magnetic so that it doesn't distort your text at all. And then I think maybe like that. And then we only have one more thing to do. So while it's all here, what we want to do is you can leave all these and we're going to select all of them, and you just do that by dragging each layer to the right, and then you can hit this group button. So now we have our first sticker if you wanted to create multiples. So from here, we're going to go to our background, oops, not background color. We're going to add a new layer, and we are going to drag it below our group here. So this is at the very, very bottom. We're going to turn off our background color. So now it is completely transparent. So this is where the Cricut comes into play. So we're going to go all the way to white, make sure that it is white, that you don't have any color in there because this will be a print and cut. So the white, it won't print the white, but then it tells the Cricut to cut around it. So now we're going to go back to our brush, and we are going to grab our airbrush. We're going to go to hard airbrush. Make sure you're on white, and make sure you're on that very bottom layer, just above the background layer. And you can bump up your size here. So I'll probably go about 11 to start with. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to trace all the way around our drawing, leaving a little bit of white on the outside. Remember that you have that shadow there, so you want to make sure that you're drawing your white around the shadow as well. Oops. Okay, so once you have your entire outline done, just like we did with the When we drug the yellow in, we can just drag the white in because it's only on this layer and it will fill it in. So for some reason it didn't fill in that. You can also just turn your group off and then you can see here. So if this was on the Cricut, it would cut out each of these individual shapes. So you want all this filled in. So now you have this white piece and this is what the Cricut will cut around. So then when we turn it back on our sticker, this will be what the sticker looks like, but if it was just cutting it, it would only look like that. So you can adjust it to make it look however you want. If you don't want all these bubbly edges, you could just make it straight. Do it however you like and according to what you're trying to go for. So then from here, we can go and we're going to zoom out and we can put this in with our group as long as it's at the bottom of the group. And then what we're going to do is we can just duplicate our group and move this over. And now let's do it one more time. And right about there. And then when we turn our background layer back on, we have all these stickers and you can just keep duplicating them until you have an entire sheet full. And because this is US letter size, it'll print on a regular sheet of sticker paper. And then you can just put it in your Cricut and follow along with the tutorial that I will link below for actually how to cut these stickers and use them. So I hope you guys got everything you needed from this. Thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you in my next video.